We are here. We're back. We were gone last week, but we're kicking it old school right here with the old rabbit ears. I'm here with my partner, Steven, from ClickDivisionAddict.com. And also tonight we have Papa Brad's Gaming here. Papa Brad, welcome.
Hello. Thank you. Great to be here, Glenn. Thank you.
You say that now, but the show. Wait till the show gets going, man. You'll change your mind soon enough. I'm telling you.
He's gonna run away.
Well, we got the.
He's just gonna get up and go.
Now I know you're from Canada, Steven, but you can't have any rabbit ears, man. It's like Easter's gonna be here, soon. Don't you Canadians? Don't you like rabbits?
We don't celebrate Easter.
You don't celebrate Easter. There's candy and eggs.
No, that's a commercial thing. I will not bow down to the commercial stuff. No, I'm joking. Yeah, we do. My wife's got some decorations up and stuff.
So
I just refuse to wear the bunny ears that are humiliating.
Oh, these look great. Look at these things. So anyway, we weren't here last week. We couldn't do it last week, and that was actually my bad. My son had some tickets to go see Mamma Mia at his high school, and I'm going to be honest, I wasn't looking forward to it. You go to these school plays, but it was actually really, really good. The kids there did a really nice job, so it was a nice night, but unfortunately, there was no kicking it old school. But we're here tonight, and we have some things we want to talk about, of course. There's always something we want to talk about. But right now, Papa Brad, man, talk to me.
I'm glad to be here. It's good to be on the show. It's good to, I've been using your products, Glenn. I just installed the restrictor gate in my iiRcade, and I like the mechanical restrictor gate. It goes from 4-way to 8-way controls. Doing the iiRcadians. It's a show about iiRcade. Comes on Thursdays. Every other Thursday it's on. And I've been doing a bunch of arcade tours. That's pretty much what I've been up to.
That's pretty good. I know the Switchgate, you had some small issues, and basically it's just a height thing with the iiRcade. You have to cut a little bit out of the bottom. But once you did that, it does work pretty nice, right?
Oh, it works excellent. Yeah, I love it. I mean, the crazy thing is every game that was 4-way, I set a new high score on. Like within 2 days, all my high scores had changed for every game that was 4-way.
it makes a big difference. Like for me, Burger Time, a huge thing. A Dragon's
Lair, all of them. I mean, anything that's 4-way, it plays way better.
Well, that's what I went in. I ran into that in the old days, where you take an 8-way joystick and play 4-way games. There's dead zones, so you end up doing a lot better, right? Because of its actual 4-way joystick versus an 8-way playing a 4-way game, right?
Yep. And actually, we have the master right here, right now, tinkering on steroids. That's Stefan Berger, the designer of the GRS gate switch we have right here. Whoop, 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 whoop. And actually, we are right now testing the final version of the one for the Tron joystick. So that's also being tested right now. So Stephen Berger, fantastic job. Your stuff it's selling out like crazy, which is good. Getting chips is the problem. Shorts.
I was gonna say, if you've done 3D printing and stuff, it doesn't require a chip, but the rest of it,
it does.
Different story. Yeah.
So the big thing, I guess, talking about today is, I guess, Arcade 1-Up. You know, they've been teasing for a while their Dragon's Lair cabinet, and I have some pictures of it over here. Of course, I can find where I put everything here. I have so many things here. Here was the original cabinet. This was the one that they showed off a year plus ago, and you can see in the upper part where the LED is. It's actually a cell phone. So I know that on the Retro Buzz, you know, we were pretty harsh about that being there. And then they have.
So what, you Velcro your cell phone up
pretty
there?
much what you did, yeah. So you Velcro your cell phone and put it up there, but that kind of went away. And now, I'm sorry, Stephen, blocking you a little bit, but now they changed it to where it will actually be an LED display, which I think is a really, really good thing. What do you guys think about this? I mean, they're talking $599 for the Dragon's Lair from Arcade 1-Up. Now, it has been available with, you know, New Wave Toys, you know, as a 1/6 scale, which I really do enjoy that one. And of course, the iiRcade has them as well. So I guess we're trying to find out from you guys, is Arcade 1-Up still coming to the party at a good time where you can get Dragon's Lair and a couple other venues? Now, I will say one thing, other than the New Wave Toys, which is very, you know, arcade accurate, it's very small. And the iiRcade, even though it's been out for a while, it's not really looking like the actual machine, where with the Arcade 1-Up one, you know, you definitely have a better looking design if you want to have that type of, you know, cabinet design. And now I'm blocking everyone's super chats with these things here, or chats. Let me get this thing out of here real quick. So, Brad, Stephen, what do you guys think about this?
I think it's good for the Arcade 1-Up fans because they'll have a arcade that'll fit right in their row of machines that'll kind of look like the authentic Dragon's Lair. I'm a big fan of the game. I like the iiRcade version. It's very good. It's been optimized, and it's an excellent version of Dragon's Lair as well. They have all the Dragon's Lair games, Dragon's Lair, Dragon's Lair 2, and they have Space Ace all on iiRcade as well. So they have some of the same games, but I'm excited. I think it's going to be a good thing. I think people that like Arcade 1-Up are going to like it.
What do you think, Stephen?
Well, I'll preface by saying this. I do not own a single Arcade 1-Up machine. I've seen them. I'm not a fan of the way they're built as far as quality. Tell me about this cell phone thing. Is that cell phone on the final product?
No.
Or they just did that?
No, that
was
when they first announced it way back when. I think we may have even had.
So now it's a panel of.
Yeah, I think we may have had John D on at the time, but it was at that time you would use your cell phone, which again I didn't think was a horrible idea, but I get everyone's idea with that. We use a cell phone, put it in there for that LED thing, which is obviously a cost-saving measure, but.
It was stupid.
They reversed it. They reversed it.
From what I understand, they're going to do a LCD screen.
Right. Let's actually, you know what? Let's pull up.
Not LEDs.
We could pull up. We could pull up the video of that. So let me go over here. I'm going to go full screen. We're going to, you know, kick it the crazy way here. Let me see if I can bring this thing up here. We're going to go full screen. And here is the machine, and they have a little video here. Let's pump this thing up here. And
so I've noticed a couple of things before you keep going.
Sure.
I noticed on the other picture you had, it had Dragon's Lair 2 and Space Ace at the bottom. This one is just Dragon's Lair and not the other two games?
Well, my understanding is that they may offer, you know, a Space Ace cabinet later on down the road. This is direct from their website. to purchase. You have to get it right from their website.
Gotcha. So it's just one game.
Well, I think they do offer, like Papa Brad was saying, they're on here.
It's all three.
It's all three on here, but you only get the artwork.
It's themed to Dragon's Lair.
Okay, so you get the 3 games, but it's just there's no indication that you're getting the other 2 games.
No, it does say so right here. The Dragon's Lair 2 Time Warp, Space Ace. So they are on there, but the artwork is designed, and I get that. Even the iiRcade and the New Wave toys are done that way. Let's take a look at their little promotional video here. Let's start this thing up and see what they got.
Dragon's Lair, a fantasy adventure where you become a valiant knight on a quest to rescue the fair princess from the clutches of an evil dragon.
So what do you guys think? What do you guys think?
Well, it answered one of my questions because Digital Leisure is here in Ontario, Canada, and they had the rights to the home versions of Dragon's Lair. But at the end of that video, I guess they must have the home arcade versions rights, I guess, too. I don't know. But I've dealt with those people before with my Xbox site, and they put out a good product. They have remastered versions of this stuff. They ran them through the remastering services that exist. I actually have the HD DVD version of Dragon's Lair when the HD DVD was a thing, not Blu-ray, and it looks beautiful. So this has got to look just as good, at least from a visual standpoint.
Now this machine most likely is using Daphne. I'm assuming they've licensed Daphne. That's my guess. Now I'm gonna give you guys a piece of fun trivia. So when John D was on the Retro Buzz years ago, it's hard to say years ago, but it was years ago. He kind of told us they were working on this, and I gave him an idea. It didn't pan out for a couple of reasons, but my idea was when you played Dragon's Lair in the arcade, what made it special? What made Dragon's Lair in the arcade different and special? Other than it being animation, what was different about it?
It was more expensive for one thing.
It definitely was that. 50 cents a game.
It costs more to play each game. I mean, I could put a quarter in Galaga and play for 45 minutes, or I could put $1 in Dragon's Lair and die instantly. So it was a tough game to play.
Well, what else was different about it?
I think it had different endings or different paths you could take.
That's another thing. But I think that's what my thing was.
Maybe the marquee was a lot different. It had an angled marquee.
But it wasn't. I mean, it was still computerized, but it ran off of what? A laser disc.
That's right. Disc, yeah.
So when I was talking to John D, I said, you know what would make that stand out would be, why not include a DVD player in your machine? And you could have the Dragon's Lair, Digital Leisure DVD, play it that way. So you would have a little bit of the authenticity of, like the load times and the screens and it going around with the DVD. And John thought it was a great idea, but DVD players, believe it or not, are now more money than it would cost to put like a small computer board in there. Yeah. So unfortunately,
moving parts.
That's the other thing too, the failure rate. But I thought that'd have been awesome if you went to your machine and you went to the back and there was a DVD player that kind of looked like, I think it was a Panasonic
laser disc,
right, like that. But it was
Pioneer, I think it was.
And since it's a 1/4 scale anyway, the DVD player would have been like a laser disc of the day, and I thought that'd have been really cool. I mean, what do you guys think? Do you think they did the right thing by going with Daphne and using solid state, or my idea, which of course I think is better, using an actual DVD to play these games?
I'll tell you why, and then I'll let Brett answer after. Why I think the solid state is better is that these arcade one-ups are not geared towards technical people. So if that thing breaks, your game's screwed. So, you know what I mean? As you're assembling this thing, some dude drops the disc and it's like, oh, my $600 game down the tubes, and you're calling Arcade 1-Up support, right? And this is for people that just want to turn the damn thing on and play. That's it. And that's who it's targeted for. That's what I think. That's my take on it. What about you, Brad?
Yeah, I think the same thing. I mean, they can emulate it really well now, and so I mean, there's no reason not to just make it, electronic. Using a real Laserdisc. That was why so many of the Dragon Layers machines
that's the experience.
Went out of circulation. The Laserdisc would break, and they just would not fix it. They would switch it to something else. So most Dragon Layer games, a lot of them got converted into other games.
Well, I think my DVD player was a good idea. It would break down just like the real thing. You'd have the real experience. That's what you would have wanted.
It worked for about a month.
You just want to curse at the damn thing.
Arcades, and then,
Stupid thing. What the hell? But I have multiple versions of that game. I have the CD-ROM version, the Xbox DVD version that says Xbox compatible right on the box that Digital Leisure sent me because I had contacted them in the original Xbox days. And I said, are you guys making, oh yeah, we have this. And it's basically a DVD, but you had to use the Xbox DVD playback kit to make it work. I was like, oh, okay. So I was playing Dragon's Lair again. I was like, oh shit, this is great, so, but I want them to make my Laserdisc game that I'm a big fan of. So I don't want to steal the thunder from Dragon's Lair. So we'll move on.
Well, I just thought it would have been a novel idea to kind of play that game. Like, I'm always big about the controllers, right? You want to play the right controllers for the right game. I thought having a DVD, I just thought it would have been a good idea. I would have preferred that myself, but of course it was my idea. I'm going to say that. So I just put a poll out there asking people, do you want an Arcade 1-Up Dragon's Lair? Because people had said many times before and they did want it, but now there's other ways to play it. You can get it on New Wave Toys, and they just came out with a new release of it. They had the original, now they have their like the mod kit version, the beat up version of it.
And iiRcade has a very strong version of Dragon's Lair that's completely optimized.
Yeah, and I'm going to show that. Let's show that for a quick second here. So if I'm going to bring that up here again, let's go over to the iiRcade. I'm going to pull this up again real quick.
They actually made a completely custom version for the iiRcade.
Right. So now if you look at it here, I mean, the good thing about the iiRcade is those speakers. I mean, the thing sounds phenomenal. And Arcade 1-Up's not really known for the sound quality, but it's good enough. But the cabinet design obviously is going to be more generic because they use it for other machines.
It's a multi-cade. I mean, you basically buy the machine, then you buy the games you want. So you get to pick out which games you want for the machine.
That's a good point Brad's bringing up. So it's $5.99 for the Arcade 1-Up, which does include a couple of different games on it, but it looks the part. The iiRcade, still a nice looking cabinet, and the artwork always looks beautiful on here, but it is a multi-cade. So you are going to pay more, $200 more for this, but you have yourself, as Brad said, a multi-cade. So what do you think about that?
It's that or build a MAME cabinet for more money, really, in the end. So it's not cheap for that. But I'm going to play devil's advocate with Dragon's Lair here. Dragon's Lair, Digital Leisure has done a wonderful job of making that game available everywhere. On your cell phone, on Xbox Live, Xbox Store, and it's everywhere. So having another place to play it, to me, I find it's a little overkill. Don't get me wrong, those cabinets look great with the artwork and everything else. They look fantastic. But Digital Leisure has been really, really good on making that game available on your Commodore Amiga all the way up until your cell phone.
Steven, this chat's for you right here. You see this chat? Steven, can you see that chat?
Yep, that's the cliffhanger. That's the game I was holding off, not mentioning, but hey, the chat read my mind.
I love Cliffhanger.
Curtis, you're my man. And it's Cliffhanger. So
it's got the animation of Lupin the Third.
Yeah, 2 movies of Lupin the Third.
Yeah.
The Castle of Cagliostro and The Secret of Mammal or something like that.
Yep.
And yeah, I agree. Curtis, yeah.
I was more of a Cobra Command guy myself, but that's a fun game.
Cobra Command's good. Yeah. Made by the same folks, same technology too. They used the same board for Cobra Command and Cliffhanger. It was the same circuitry. They changed the ROMs and laser disc, and away it went. So I think they used the same cabinet too.
I personally think that Arcade 1-Up will sell out of that machine, no problem. But it's weird. And tell me what you guys think about this as well. It's weird because Dragon's Lair is a beautiful looking game. It is a beautiful looking game. It's a memory game. It
looks better now after they remastered
it. Does. And as Brad said, I'm not sure if he said it on the show.
It has a lot of nostalgia. The nostalgia value is high. Like if you think about iconic arcades, Tron obviously had a very iconic look, and Dragon's Lair there was nothing like it at the time. It was completely there was nothing like it. It was original.
Right, but
absolutely.
When you walk by a Dragon's Lair, it can literally just be playing in its demo mode. You can play through, and that's fine. Again, believe me, I love Dragon's Lair. I love Space Ace, love the games, but it's not really a game you really play a lot. It's really a game that just sits in the corner, and people just give that wow factor by looking at it and just going, well, I remember this game. I lost all my money in 2 seconds, and then that was it.
You know what? I always compared Dragon's Lair to the game Simon. You've got to memorize. Okay. Press that first, that second, this, then that, then that, then that. You know what I mean? It was a memory game. It's timing and
visual.
And memory, right? So you had to remember to go up there at that point, left. And I always thought of it like Simon. Oh, the green's flashing. You got to press that, and you got to memorize the sequence, in a sense. You know what I mean? And all these Laserdisc games are the same thing,
right?
In my opinion, it's sort of a memory game versus Pac-Man or Call of Duty or whatever. You know what I mean? It's not the same type of game.
And they did have some Laserdisc games that tried to, like Astron Belt, if you ever played that game, or Firefox. Yep. It was Laserdisc. Yeah, it was a background, and they had some computer effects. It was still kind of limited.
That's right.
Mach 5.
Mach 5, exactly. So they did have games that did that.
And those are different. But Dragon's Lair, Space Age, Dragon's Lair 2, even Cliffhanger. It's a game of memory. It's a cartoon. It's a memory game. Press this at this exact time. And there's something to be said about that because it wasn't anything like it back in 1980, whatever, when it came out.
Right.
So it's, but to today's standards, my kid looks at that and it's like, what the hell, kind of.
They don't get it. So it's a nostalgia thing. Then really, we're talking about here. These games are hooking people like us at that nostalgia string.
Hey, I want to say hi to my cousin Mike. He's in the chat, and some prayers go out to his mother. She just got out of the hospital with something serious, so if you guys can put some good vibes there, that'd be great. Welcome. Sorry, sidetrack. I just saw him. I was like, hey, my cousin Mike's in here.
and definitely welcome to everyone in the chat. Normally we engage the chat group a little bit more.
Paul has a great comment.
Which one? The one?
Paul always.
This one right here.
Yeah, Paul said, the one where he said, I watched other people lose their money, and then I went and played Donkey Kong Jr.
Which is
that's kind of like was me in the arcade when I was in that time. It's like it just didn't have the value. I mean, I loved watching it. There would always be a crowd of people around. They even put a television on top of it so that you could see it, even if there were people crowded around it. But I didn't play it a lot until I was grown up,
Well, but
now I can play the game all the way through, like no problem.
Yeah, the Dragon's Lair, the big thing was that monitor on the top, right? So people could see someone who was good, like you, who'd know it, play it.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't good back in the day. I'm good at it now, though.
I suck.
You know what's very clever with Dragon's Lair is Don Bluth quit Disney at the right time. And everybody was familiar with that art style back in the 80s with Cinderella and all those
Secret and Nim.
And then exactly. And what was the other one that he made?
Cauldron.
Or a Tale, American Tale, right? Dinosaur. What's the dinosaur one? Lost Time. The dinosaurs. I can't think what it was called now.
The Land Before Time.
Land Before Time.
Yeah. So all that artwork was familiar to kids. So when they saw that art style in the arcade, it blew their minds. There was like, I could play the cartoon that's at the theater and all that stuff, right? So that art style carried over. And I think that's what appealed to our generation, that those movies were in the theater or whatever. And we were like, holy crap, we could play a cartoon movie or whatever.
And it's funny because Dragon's Lair, they've been talking about making a cartoon for years, and they're still talking about it. But they're still talking about it, but it still hasn't arrived yet. Get it on Netflix. Let's get it going. Dragon's Lair.
You guys ever played the Dragon's Lair 3D game?
On the GameCube.
It came out on the original Xbox, the GameCube, and maybe PS3. PS2, sorry. I think it came out on all three platforms at that era. On the Xbox, it's in 1080i or 720p, and it looks fantastic.
It looks like the artwork, but you actually control them.
That's right. It's a little clunky at places, but overall, I was like, holy mackerel, they did a good job as far as, but Digital Leisure had nothing to do with it because I was bugging them for it, and they were like, yeah, we didn't do that. And I was like, oh, interesting, because they have the rights to the original Laserdisc footage, not Dragon's Lair. You know what I mean? So they had the license for just the Laserdisc itself of the full Dragon's Lair, Space Ace, all that stuff. But the Dragon's Lair itself license belongs to Don Bluth. Unless that's changed in recent times, but back then, I had to go bug a whole bunch of different people for Dragon's Lair 3.
Brad, Goofyfoot just brought up a good comment. Do you ever remember the Dragon's Lair cartoon series? It was on ABC here, at least in New York. Do you remember that show?
Really?
I kind of wasn't that the one that had like a Q*bert, a Pac-Man, and a Dragon's Lair?
Well,
it was like a bunch of different.
They had Saturday. That was Saturday Supercade on CBS, but ABC had just a Dragon's Lair show, and as he said here, it was horrible. It was horrible, but. What they would do was they'd do the cartoon, have it going, and then when commercial break would come on, like something would happen. It was like, what would you do? It'd be like two separate scenes you had to pick, but of course you couldn't pick anything. You had to wait till the commercial got over and see kind of both things would happen. He'd like die in one,
really?
But then they'd do the other one where he lived, and then they continued the story along.
Yeah.
Dragon's Lair for me though has been. I mean, I've bought this game so many times. I bought it for the Sega CD.
Oh my God, really?
And every time I bought it, it got better. And I bought it for the PlayStation 2. Then I bought it for probably the PS4, and they totally remastered it.
That's when they did
high definition. They cleaned up all the art, just like they do with the movies to perfect it. And even before that, I was I did the Daphne emulator from when it first came out and the different revisions of it. So, I mean, Dragon's Lair has always been, to me, a unique arcade experience, and it's gonna be good. I love the version on iiRcade. They really took their time and they didn't rush it. You can tell it's super. The optimization of it, like it's really arcade accurate, frame by frame. It's arcade accurate, which is great.
Brad.
And now they have a version with a cabinet design. You could have something that looks like the cabinet in your home, which is going to hit that nostalgia beat, which I think, the Dragon's Lair hardcore fans, they're going to love it. I mean, it's because it looks like a Dragon's Lair machine from back in the day.
Now, does your wife and kids, family, get involved with this hobby of yours as well, or are you're a loner with this?
I wish. I mean, it's all for me. Like, my grandkids come over and play the machines. They love playing the machines, but my wife, she'll go to events with me and she'll play pinball and she'll film stuff, but she's not like a gamer really.
Now, what I'm going to do when you mentioned that a second ago about the machine, I'm going to pull up the prototype one and the actual display one. Now, let me get the side view if I can find it here. There we go. You can see up here at the top on the what's my left, over my face, I should say, the marquee looks a lot bigger than the actual released one over Steven's face. So they changed that. I think I liked the larger one on the one with the cell phone attachment.
Control panel got changed a lot too. It had the curved control panel. Now
looks more like the original one on the left.
So I actually, even though aside from the cell phone, if they would have taken the cell phone out and just put the LED panel in there, I think I actually prefer their prototype look better. What do you guys think?
I agree.
Yeah, I think so. Except for the cell phone, of course.
The marquee's wider on the left too, taller than the other one. It seems.
That just might be the way I sized it. I think they're about the same size, but the thing I just noticed was that the marquee And like I said, Papa Brad was saying that the control panel, I think, looked better on their prototype. I wish they had left that like that. Not that it looks bad. And real quick, I got a quick thing here on.
I like the riser better on the prototype too.
Yeah, the Dirk the Daring.
With the actual logo of Dragon's Lair versus.
Yeah, you know what? They should have put Singe. Like if Dirk is holding his sword up like that, they should have had Singe there or something. So
should have put Daphne down there.
Oh, that would have sold. Yeah, that's a selling point.
The iiRcade has a mural with Daphne on it on one side.
Now I find this interesting. Right now, I asked in the poll, "Do you want an arcade one-up Dragon's Lair?" Only 13% said yes. I had an 87% say no. What do you guys think about that?
I voted no.
I think the people that want it are going to really want it. I think it's a niche arcade. I mean, either you really love it or you don't, you know? And there are people that really love Dragon's Lair. It's like their jam. It's like one of their favorite games. So I think they're going to love it, you know? But like I said, it's a game that if you play it enough, it's like a memorization. You memorize it and like, I mean, I can run the game. It's once you get it down, you got it.
Well, I think you hit Papa. You brought it up before as well. The cabinet just looks nice. It's a beautiful looking cabinet. The Tron is a beautiful looking cabinet. Star Wars, beautiful looking cabinet. They're iconic, and it just would look great in your room. So for that reason alone, I think it's a buy. And again, just running the background. A lot of people don't play the games as much as we think they do. They just want to walk into the room, work and have the machines out in the background. It's like you're walking into an arcade, just playing in the background. And Dragon's Lair for that, like that background ambiance, is pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, it definitely has, like, if you're talking about, if you're trying to make a miniature 80s arcade, it's definitely a great game to put in that lineup because it was part of that time period.
Real quick, we got, oh my God, stop the presses. I got a super chat. Hold the horses. Got a super chat. Oh, look at this. Brad, want to read this, buddy? This is all you, man.
Let's see here. Love Brad's Arcade Tours. Some of my favorite videos on YouTube. Thank you so much. People should go check out his channel. Congrats on 1,000 subs. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Congratulations on that.
Yeah, that's why he's here, guys.
Thank you so much.
That's why he's here. Go sub to his channel. It's his time to shine, you know. Thanks, Paul.
You know, I need some music. Paul. Time to shine. Shine, 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 shine. Brad, we're going to do some sound effects and music to that.
That's perfect.
Here we got Kongs or Us here. How you doing, Kongs? Thanks for joining us. I know he purchased it. I saw it. He posted that. So he's already got his on his way. Hopefully his wife won't stand up in it, though. We don't want that to happen again.
I'm not. It doesn't do anything for me because I played the crap out of Dragon's Lair.
Yeah, I have a full-on custom Star Wars arcade that was made by Kong. It's it's a Star Wars arcade one-up, but it's been completely modified where you can play all the Star Wars games on it.
Kongs does great work.
One of my favorite arcades. Probably my favorite home arcade.
Kongs, and he does commissions. So if you guys don't know Kongs or Us,
it's incredible.
You can go to Kongs or Us on YouTube.
Go check out Kongs
Absolutely.
or Us.
He has Starcade 2.0, which I play as well. He made a version for my yoke. And he does commissions. I mean, he's a busy guy, so hit him up sooner rather than later. But he does beautiful work. So what do you like most about that machine that you got from Kongs? I know you said he's modded it. What's your favorite part about it?
I mean, Star Wars Trilogy. I mean, being able to play Star Wars Trilogy at home is an amazing experience. And just his playlist that he's made, the controls, everything about it, it's great. It's great.
That's the 3D one, right? Where you get the lightsaber with Darth Vader and
fight
there. Yeah,
I can play Battle Pod. I can play Star Wars Trilogy. I can even play House of the Dead on my Star Wars cab.
The yoke, the yoke actually works really well with light gun games.
The yoke is an incredible. The yoke is such a good controller, and B went through and optimized all the games to use a yoke, and I love it. It's great. I mean. It's just like the more I play it, the more things I discover on it. It's an incredible build.
And did you get this whole custom control panel with like buttons all over the place? And
oh yeah, it's all glowing and stuff. It's got all the buttons are lit up, and it's a great
Kongs doesn't go half-ass. I mean, he goes well into it. And he does a lot of good work, a lot of good mods. So big shout out to Kongs.
I I have a video too on my channel that shows me assembling it. Basically, sends you the parts to do it, but you basically do it. It's still just some modding, light modding you do yourself. But I actually have a video that shows the whole process of like putting the cab together.
Cool.
What about you, Steven? You got a couple arcade machines. You have any that are multi-cades? I know you have dedicated ones.
I have a MAME cabinet that was built in 2000 and I forget, and essentially it's got everything in there. It's more of a what it doesn't have. It has hyperspin and everything else. And I was talking to Brad before the show about little kids pressing like 50 buttons and they somehow quit the game. And you're like, how the hell did you quit the game? And there's a person, I think it was somebody, I think it was our previous guest there, Wolf knows. He says, oh, you got to disable this and this and this. Oh, okay. So I think I disabled a few things. But anyways, I've got that. I've got my Marvel vs. Capcom has an original CPS2 board, but I put a Pandora's Box DX in there with 3,000 games that are fighting games like Mortal Kombat and all that stuff. And then I've got Neo Geo MVS, and Miss Pac-Man, and the Turtles. And my son and I, hopefully this summer, will be done our Sinden Light Gun arcade.
You got one or two of those?
Two. A red and a
Did you get it with the recoil?
No. I wish I did, but these things weren't cheap at the beginning, so I went a little cheaper on that one. But yeah, it's one of those things. But like I said, I have Dragon's Lair on my multicade. I own Dragon's Lair, so it's not an illegal copy or whatever, and it's
real
there.
Quick.
It's
P-Dubs Arcade Loft is here, so don't forget at 9 p.m. tonight, Super Game Room dudes. They're also doing a thing on the Arcade One-Up Dragon's Lair. I'm sure they'll get much more in depth than we did. He's also said he's going to install my 4-way switcher this weekend. But also remember, we have to haunt him because if you have the Atari Legends Tempest unit, I will be sending him my pre-production unit to test. So he's got to put it in his machine to try it out. So I'm telling you right now, I'm going to send it out to P-Dubs Arcade Loft, and he'll let us know if it's working or not. So we got to haunt him to make sure, as soon as he gets it, to start testing it. So P-Dubs, thanks for joining. I appreciate it.
And Glenn, I just want to tell you, your trackball works awesome in that cabinet too. I did a mod where I put your trackball into my Atari Tempest cab, and I love it.
Did you use the version 2 with the light-up ball or the version 3 with the light-up ring?
Yeah. It's the light-up ball. The Thunderstick one, I think.
I hate when people type that in on Amazon what comes up.
It works great. I have it glowing blue. I did all my buttons. They all glow now. But I completely modded that cabinet. Everything except for the spinner control-wise has been changed. But I love that Atari cab.
It's a beautiful cab. The only thing that, I saw that again, that's like the Star Wars, the Dragon's Lair. It's a beautiful cabinet. They screwed up that control panel, and they screwed up the rotation of the display. That was made for Tempest.
Yeah,
right? For Tempest, that display was wrong. And then for the Missile Command, the buttons were on the wrong side. I couldn't. I just couldn't. I mean, I could have.
Well, Tempest is a vertical game.
It is. They used a horizontal display. So that goes back to my thing is when you make the artwork for the marquee title, everything, the controls, the screen, should be set up for that game. And how they released that the way they did was just too upsetting. I wouldn't buy it. Even when I could have got it, it was on sale for a short time on.
We're talking about Atari here.
Yeah, we are.
The current
no, but it was
Atari.
Arcade One-Up thing on it. But they was going for like $150. I saw it was like $150. I could have bought it for like $150. I wouldn't do it just because that really turned me off. I could have made my own control panel. I get it, but
well, you had to dump probably 20 hours of work in the thing to get it right. It's not worth
sorry, Rainwater Games. This definitely does happen. People get surprised when they type in Thunderstick on Amazon. If you haven't done so, you'll be for a big surprise. But yeah.
Oh, I'm going to type that right now.
Well, I actually like the Atari cab. I enjoy it. And my wife, it's the one arcade she plays that I have. Like, she'll go flick the switch and play Centipede on it, and she loves it.
Is that her game? Is Centipede her game?
She loves Centipede. Yeah, she'll play Centipede. That's an arcade game she'll play
Now, does she know that Centipede was designed by a woman programmer for women?
She does. Yeah. I told her all the history of Centipede. But I think she just likes that game. It's just something that appeals to her. But she'll go play it, and she'll play it for like, when we go to arcades, they'll have all the arcade games, and she'll just hang out at the Centipede the whole time and play it. It's like it's the one game that she loves, you know. She's pretty good. Yeah, she's pretty good. She's not amazing, but she's pretty good.
Dang, man, you're saying this about the world. She's amazing. Come on, man.
Dude, I see like fish hooks and stuff like that for Thunderstick.
Yeah, I've seen some players that are I mean, just insane though. When I was at the Houston Arcade Expo, I saw a guy that he had the entire screen of Centipede was mushrooms. And he just made like a little channel. And he had a strategy, like he was like in the hundreds and hundreds of thousands. And it was insane. Like I've never seen anyone play at that level. So like after seeing that, like, you know, you can't like really say you're a great player, you know, after you see someone that's that good.
Dude, these guys in the chat are killing me. These guys are killing me. Very funny guys.
The Thunderstick is also designed for women. I'm sorry, but that's funny. I expected to see sexual help paraphernalia.
Well, I mean, to be honest, we didn't have any idea that would be the case. It just happened to be one of those things.
No, but on the Canadian Amazon.ca, if you type in Thunderstick, I see fish hooks. I actually see fish hooks. I see your trackball, Tron knob, and the stick. And then I see noisemakers and stuff. But I'll do some more Googling and lose some more of my hair.
So, Brad, I got to ask you again. So, you obviously, I think you're in your basement, you said, right? So, is that the area you're allowed to bring like more machines in if you wanted to? Is the wife okay bringing in more machines? Do you want anything new? Is there something else you still want to have but don't have?
Well, I ordered an iiRcade Gold Edition Space Invaders.
That's nice.
That's the last cab I ordered. And actually, if the Dragon's Lair wouldn't have came out so close to it, I probably would order that as well. But I like Dragon's Lair a lot. I think it's, you know, it's a great game. But yeah, no, I love the home arcades. I like, you know, doing it yourself, the DIY arcades. I mean, I like it all. I mean, I have everything from arcade cabs all the way to the 2600. So
what is an arcade machine that you would like to see made that hasn't been made yet?
Machine I would like to see made that's not made. I would like to see a Robotron.
That would be nice, wouldn't it?
A 3/4 scale, well done Robotron machine with dual stick games would be a win. That's what I would like to see that in
Crazy Climber. I still want to see it, and like Berserk.
I love Crazy Climber. Yeah. Like a Williams multicab. It's amazing that like the Defender Partycade that Arcade 1-Up did was so good. Like why they don't make a 3/4 version of that is beyond me. Because it's really it's a great retro arcade experience the way they have it on the Partycade. I mean, just make a bigger one.
Now, if you guys remember, Midway actually made a there wasn't, I guess the build quality wasn't very good, but they actually made a multi-cade with Robotron on it and Defender on it and those other games, Bubbles. I guess they're hard and it had a CRT in it too. They're hard to come by, but I guess it was very cheaply made. But I agree with you.
The screen was real small too. It was like it's like one of those little tiny TVs.
Like a 9-inch, 10-inch, something like that?
Like, yeah, like a 9-inch or 10-inch TV. So it's, you know, that hurt it. That hurt it for sure. I think Retro Ralph had one of those that he did a video on.
I think he did. I mean, he's got more into the mainstream arcade machines. The reason I won't do that is, again, it's the weight. It's just me. I can't lift around these 300, 400, 500-pound machines.
They're massive. They'll give you a hernia.
They will. And then I get...
Got to use a dolly.
Yeah, exactly. So I guess for him, it goes right into his garage, so that's easy enough for the deliveries. But then stuff can happen like P-Dubs. You know, P-Dubs did an auction, got himself a Q*bert, right? Brings a Q*bert inside.
Thought he got himself a Q*bert, and found out he got
a Q*bert, but it was listed as a reconditioned arcade machine, and it turned out it was an elf, right? It was an elf board, I think, that was in there. Yeah. But he got his money back. So here's another good one: Smash TV. All right, that's another good one. Very fun game, dual joystick game.
That's why I so heavily support Real Arcade still, because they're giving us the games and they're doing the maintenance. All I got to do is show up and play all these great games. So I've got to, like real good retro arcades, I've got to give them 100% of my support. And I do. I mean, I love it. Like anytime I can go on location and play real arcades or real pinball, that is my #1 a way to play games that I like. Playing them on location in person.
Yeah, that's the thing too. Now there's in Beacon, New York over here, which is about 15 minutes from me. Apparently there's a pinball and arcade that's opened up. I have to call them. I want to see if I can meet up with them and do a live stream from there, because it's been a long time since I've actually been in an actual arcade. You know, it's like those things. We bring back these memories in our house. It's still not fully the same as walking into a place, we're seeing multitudes of other people in there, watching them play, seeing what they're enjoying. It's an experience where it's communal, right?
It is, and it comes down to the passion of the people that are in the arcade owners. I mean, I just toured an arcade a while back called the Waybacks Arcade, and they took an entire supermarket, they gutted it, took everything out of it, and made a supermarket-sized arcade.
Wow.
That is a
You'll
video
need about
that everyone
300
should
machines.
watch. That's a video everyone should watch on my channel. It's the Waybacks Arcade video. It's a great story, and it's in Pineville, Louisiana. It's in the middle of nowhere, and you go, and there's this amazing, unbelievable retro arcade, just right outside of Alexandria, and it's beautiful. I mean, it's stunning. So check out that video on my channel, Waybacks Arcade Tour. It's one of my
I'm still
favorites.
hoping that they'll have a Kong off. I mean, they do it in Jersey, you know. I don't know if he's doing that anymore, but I hope they have another Kong off.
Was that Knuckles?
Richie Knuckles.
Doing that?
Richie
Yeah.
Knuckles.
Yeah, I haven't talked to him in a while. It's probably been almost a year. Well, no, maybe 6 months since I talked to him last. But I would really like to have gone down there and meet all the guys and actually do a show from there. And he wanted me to come down. He wanted sadly, he wanted the Retro Buzz to go down. I'm not sure if we can maybe rekindle the show one last time for a Kong off down there.
Who's the record holder for that game in nowadays?
You know, I don't know. It's kind of some younger guy now. It's not Steve Weeb. It's not
Steve
him anymore.
Or
I don't know.
Who's the other guy again? That
Billy Mitchell.
Oh yeah, the mullet guy there. Yeah.
Billy Mitchell. I met Billy Mitchell. He was nice. He was a nice guy.
You know, I've talked to a few people who said that a lot of what people know about Billy Mitchell is kind of like an act. You know, like a facade he's trying to put out there. I've heard, now I'm not saying that everything is, because obviously there's stuff he's going through lawyers and stuff like that. But I don't know the whole story. I don't know him at all. But I do hear from a lot of people in the know that say a lot of that is a shtick, and he is a very nice guy. But again, I have really no idea.
It doesn't do him any favors, sadly, though.
Not at the moment. We have another.
Hey, let's be an asshole, and I want people to buy it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
The problem was,
like, what the hell?
He sold it so well that it's like it's hard to see him any other way.
Yeah, that's the thing.
He did such a good job. It was so believable the way he sold it so well. He did such a good job. He kind of put himself in a box.
Well, that's what I'm trying to get at. It's kind of like the old days where people would watch television and they'd see an actor be an asshole, and then they'd meet him down the street and start throwing apples at this actor. You know what I mean? And that's happened where actors in let's say the 40s and 30s, like before people understood acting, what the hell it was, is they would literally hate these actors, and I'm like, I'm not an asshole. I just played one.
Well, that does happen. That does happen, except for Ray, who in Star Wars, he's evil.
Right?
But real quick, we have a super chat from Paul again. And actually, you know what? I was thinking about this. I was thinking about talking to Steven and Doug about having them on the show. But we demand to see Steven's arcade room on one of the upcoming Kicking It Old School episodes.
Is it him or me? He wants to see my arcade. That's the.
Oh, that's a good point. You know, I don't know what Steven says. There's a lot of Stevens out there now. I don't know.
No.
I'm guessing if it's Kicking It Old School, it's me. But if it's the other one, then it's the other one. Or both.
Could be. But in any case, I do want to have, see if I can get Doug on and Steven on for a show. But again, I know they're very busy. I know Doug. Michael B. the Game Genie. Oh, my God. Michael B. the Game Genie. Congratulations. His baby was born. And then he went out and got himself, I think it was a Galaga or a Galaxian numbskull. So I guess she got the baby. He was able to go out and get a numbskull Galaxian, I think he got. So congratulations, Michael B. No more sleep for you for a while, bud. That's the way it works.
Okay, it's me he's talking about.
Yes. Okay. So I'm sure we could do that, right, Steven? You could do that.
Yeah, I've got to, number one, clean up that room a little bit, and then set up the camera and run a network cable, and I'll have them running in the background, and basically I'll move the camera at will live. You know what I mean? So you know what? I'll try to get it for, like, we have a guest next week. We have Tony from Electric Adventures next week. So I may not have whatever, or I may just take some footage and send it to Glenn, and he can just play it back and
do that.
You know, that's sort of. We'll figure something out.
Here's the thing here from Cami, and Cami, always a pleasure having Cami. We just did an Amiga gaming judgment. Was it last week? Now I'm so bad at my memory. And she did a wonderful job with that. But she said that Billy used to stream on Twitch. He was a very nice guy when she chatted with him. Cami's a.
Well, that's the thing. He should change his image. Really, he should.
Well,
because most people look at him as a nasty person, and it's unfortunate. Because change the image. I mean, the one guy on YouTube, they're going at each other's throats. The one that called him a cheater and everything else. And well, if he's not a cheater, well, don't give people.
Well, also remember, a lot of this with Billy came from the Fistful of Quarters, right? The King of Kong, which I love. I love that.
Great,
but
show.
You could tell there was a lot of played up parts in there. So you have to have the good guy, who was Steve Wiebe, and you have to have
a heel.
You have to have the villain
to sell it. You need
you need the good guy and the villain. You have Star Wars. You got Luke.
The villain, yeah. Just like
wrestling. You got Luke and Darth Vader, or you just have anything that's related to Kathleen Kennedy. Anything.
That's right.
Can we go one episode without mentioning that woman?
I can't.
Come on, dude.
I can't. but I think even with the Twin Galaxies, I remember seeing a lot of interviews with Twin Galaxies where he was their poster child, right? Billy Mitchell was this god character, but it kind of got old with that. So now what do? You make him a bad guy. Just like in wrestling. Wrestling is usually a bad guy that eventually you make him the good guy. But I think they did it the other way. So again, I don't know him personally, so I can't say. But I'll trust what Cami says. She's got a good soul, so I'm going to believe what she says. So we have a few minutes,
and he's proven too. He's a legit good gamer. I mean, he's done Twitch streams and other things where he's shown like he can do a perfect game of Pac-Man. I mean, the guy's got skills.
He does. He definitely does. So again, did he cheat? Maybe. I'm going to have to say, though, from the video footage I saw, how MAME operates versus the arcade, it's pretty clear it was played in MAME.
MAME, yeah. What about that other guy? He looks like Ron Jeremy.
What?
The other guy that's part of the scandal stuff.
Oh, that was the guy.
Is
that Nibbler? Was it Nibbler?
Todd Rogers.
That he was trying to get.
Todd Rogers, that's what it is.
Oh, Dragster, that was it. Yeah. Dragster.
That whole, I watched.
Yeah, him I could believe was a bit of a crook.
That looked like cheating, maybe. Yeah.
Sorry, he looked like Ron Jeremy.
Or this guy, I
don't know. I looked at him. I was like,
this is getting cut off a little bit. I got another super chat from Hobby Hands. I got to read this. Off topic. You'll get a kick out of this. While I'm excited, I'm picking up a working pet machine tomorrow from an estate sale. Price okay, $500.
For Commodore Pet.
I mean, if it's in good condition.
$500 is steep.
It is, but
if it means a lot to you, nostalgic wise,
and if it's in good condition,
and if the monitor's in great shape,
no burn in,
that monitor,
it's working great.
That's right.
I don't think that's a horrible deal because the pets are.
I don't want to rain on Hobby Hands parade or anything, but just you got to be careful with.
And I feel bad about the super chat. That could have went towards his $500.
You know what I love about the pet? It's when you open it up like a hood of a car and you got that rod sticking it up so you go work on it. It's hilarious. It's like, and then you put up the kickstand, and then you see the circuit board and everything else. That's my. I don't have a pet. I have friends that do have them and love them.
I got
and everything
that pet.
Else.
I always wanted a pet computer.
I got a cat.
So listen, we're getting close to the end of the show. Believe it or not, we talk so fast. Don't forget at 9 o'clock, about 7 minutes, P-Dubs, Michael B. Or on Super Game Room Dudes. Don't want to miss that show. It's coming up at 9 o'clock. Talking about Arcade 1-Up and the Dragon's Lair. Very good show. I allow them to follow me. It's okay for them to follow me. It's okay. But Brad, I want to talk about you for the last few minutes of the show. You do have a YouTube channel. Just tell everyone one more last time what you do on your show. Promote yourself a little bit. He's finally got 1,000 subs. Let's try and get him to 2,000 quickly.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, basically my channel, I mean, I do arcade tours. I cover the iiRcade pretty heavily. I have this show, the iiRcadians, that I'm part of. It's on every other Thursday, and it covers the iiRcade um, uh, console and all the games and stuff that are coming out with for it. But I have all kinds of stuff on my channel. Check it out. It's Papa Brad's Gaming. And you never know what I'm going to do on there. I have all kinds of content on there, but it's all like video game related, basically. Like a lot of it is classic arcade, iiRcade. I do arcade 1-up reviews. I have some arcade 1-up content. My Defender review did really well. Got like 9,000 views. The Partycade. But yeah, check out my channel.
And what got you into this? You were telling me a little before the show.
What got me into it was, really, believe it or not, P-Dubs and Steven from when he did the Retro Buzz. Steven really kind of, P-Dubs kind of inspired me, and, always respected what he did. And Steven basically gave me the courage just to get my phone and go for it, make some videos, and he said, all you need to start is a phone. And here I am now. I'm on YouTube, not even a year, my channel's doing well. I'm on a show, but I love it. It's a good hobby, YouTube. It's a lot of fun. And I love the arcade community. I mean, that's what got me into it, really. The people in the arcade community got me into this hobby.
I'll tell you, look who's here. Look who's here, the Tech Buzz. Steven's right here. Steven, there's your chance, Brad. Tell him. He's here.
I mean, I would have never started on YouTube if it wasn't for Steven. He gave me the courage to get started, and also P-Dubs was a huge influence. But I think it's great. But thank you so much.
Steven's a very good guy. He'll help anybody. Just don't be a deer in hunting season, because he will kill you. He'll kill you dead.
Yeah. Well, my logo is orange, so I should be safe.
So before we end the show, I always ask this question too. You talked about you have old gaming consoles and stuff like that. So what is the most, I would say, your favorite or most nostalgic console?
My favorite console of all time is the Dreamcast.
Nice pick.
My favorite, but I'd also love original Atari too, just because when I was a kid, my mom scarred me forever by buying me an Odyssey 2 instead of an Atari 2600. So yeah, like
did you put those little things on the TV, the little overlays?
The little overlays, yeah. But you have nostalgia for these things. So I made up for it. I have Atari. I have a mountain of Atari cartridges, and I love Atari. But my favorite console though overall is Dreamcast, because the arcade ports are so good. Just love the Dreamcast.
Dead or Alive,
way ahead of its time. Way ahead of its time.
Dead or Alive 2 and Soul Calibur, my favorite games on that machine.
Super fun.
The Dreamcast, I said it before, I'll say it again. Even in 2022, the graphics hold up.
They hold up for sure.
Yeah,
absolutely.
They are. I mean,
yep, absolutely. If you play Soul Calibur today, it's amazing.
I know. My grandson came over and he's like, "This game's amazing." It's like,
you know what, Steven came on the show for one reason only. Look at that chat down there. He came on just to rub in my face. He got $250 worth of games today for $50. I don't know where he goes. He gets all these deals. He's doing it just to rub my face in it. Thanks, Steven. Thanks for rubbing my face in your good deal.
It's not me. It's not.
No, it's the other Steven. It's the other one.
It's the other one.
So, Brad, I wanted to again thank you for coming on. He was supposed to be on last week, and then we said we'll do it this week. And then I said, no, not this week, next week. And then our guy canceled. I said, could you do tonight? And he's been a champ. He's like, oh, yeah, it's fine. I'll come on.
Thank you for that.
Huge fan. And Glenn, I love your products too. You make a huge difference for, people that are into home arcade. The things you've done with your products, I mean, it's just a great improvement. And I want to thank you so much. I know how much work it must have been.
Thank you. It's a lot of work, but you know what? I think everyone should be able to play the games where they're supposed to be played, enjoy them, and not spend a fortune. So with that, ending on a positive note, I'm going to take that as a positive note. Thank you so much. Super Game Room dudes will be coming on in just a few seconds, so we're going to call it out. So, Steven, have any last words before we go?
Game on. And happy Easter.
All right, guys, listen, everyone have a happy and safe Easter. Don't eat too much chocolate. Remember, like Steven just said, and Papa Brad's going to say, game on.
Game on.
Game on.
At the Tiny Arcade fan page. Remember, don't admire people too much. They'll disappoint you.
Sit, Blue Blue, sit.